Alright. What's up, everybody? We've got Shin in the bottom left side, up against Hero in the bottom right. It's the OlimoLeague finals. It's a best of 5 to see who can win in the return of OlimoLeague. This tournament has had so many good players in it, right? We had bloody Clem in this tournament. He's gone. He's gotten kicked out of here. Who else was in this tournament? Bjorn, he's gone. Rogue, they're gone. There's a ton of good players that signed up for this tournament. They've all been knocked out, and it's Shin and Hero at the end of the day. Now, Shin and Hero is a fascinating match because Hero can absolutely be a wild cheese man, but lately, especially leading into the World Cup, he said, I'm going to play macro, I'm going to play late game, I'm going to play defensive. And besides some absolutely baffling decisions for Serral that lost him games, obviously massing, Tempests against Mass Ultra and getting rolled on Alcyon, on Crimson Court, he also kind of threw verse Serral, right, with the 6 Void Rays dying to Corrosive Vial, Other than those rare moments of Hero making dumb mistakes, which I know I like, stop talking about his mistakes. It was perfect play other than that. Like, Hero was playing some of the most perfect PvZ we have ever seen in my entire life until he made those mistakes, right? And he barely lost that series versus Serral, and he beat Raynor, and he barely lost to Clem in the semis of the World Championship. Like, Hero is capable of fantastic macro play. Problem, Shin's not just going to let you macro. Shin always tries to win in the early game or the mid game. Shin is a guy who will get up 80 supply, and he will refuse to make a hive. If Shin makes a hive, he's probably dead. Let's put it that way, guys. Like, if Hero gets past a certain point, even though Hero is not the best late game player, I've just never really seen Shin optimize a strategy for late game. It's not that he can't play late game. You might think, oh, come on, Shin's not that bad. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he consciously is so committed to killing you on lair tech pretty much every game. His upgrades are late. His hive's super duper late. If he's going for that, it means plan A failed, plan B failed, plan C failed, he's on plan D. It's not that he's bad and can't execute plan D, it's that he's doing it from such a bad, delayed position that it's not usually going to work out. Now, Stalker first is incredibly rare, guys, but Hero, I think, realizes that Shin likes to be greedy with his Overlord, and Hero gloating a little bit there in the chat. Oh man, these guys talk so much smack during OlimoLeague. Please translate in the chat, please. Okay, I'm opening Google Translate on my phone. We're not going to be able to translate this one in time, but we're going to be able to translate future ones. I guarantee you, okay? As Shin takes the other base. I'm not good at reading the emojis, though, so maybe Twitch chat can help me with that. Korean to English. Hold on. We're going to get the camera open on my phone, guys, so I can hold it over the chat. Normally, I only have this ready these days for Bjorn and Solar, because those guys talk so much smack when they're playing each other, but I figure, hey, if it started like that, we might get some spicy words from these guys, and we'll try to have our very broken Google translation ready and available. So I've got that ready here on my phone now, and we should be able to get that going next time. Great content, I know, guys. Great content. Actually, wait, it's not working. Why is it not going to the camera? Oh no, they changed the Google Translate site. Ah, well, we're gonna have to rely on Twitch chat. GG. Oracle comes in, gets itself 1 drone, 2 drones. Super worth to take. Is it worth? Not really. That's heavy damage. Not that great. We've got 3rd Nexus on the way here for Hero. 2nd Gateway in the wall off. He's got that Stalker denying scouting. 3rd Oracle coming in. That's quite a few Lings pressuring. Now, Ling pressure used to be way more effective. One of the reasons why Protoss is so much stronger against Zerg is that Ling pressure can't really exhaust Oracle energy anymore. With that energy recharge ability, Oracles never need to worry about wasting a bit of extra energy. We often these days see the Oracle chase the Zerglings and just leave its laser turned on because it just doesn't care. It can always refill that energy so very easily. All right, 3rd and 4th gas coming down as well. Adepts coming forward. What do people think of the new maps this season? Oh, what a welcome respite it is from Terran Kingdom, which is what I call the last season's map pool. Is just, do you like Dead Space? Do you like Dead Space in short rush distances? If you do, I hope you enjoy. I actually really enjoyed the last season's map pool for the first, 6 months. I'm just done with it now. 3 drones do go down. The Adepts are going to pull back. I think like everything's fine in moderation in StarCraft. I'm down for crazy changes and things, but when it stays around for too long, it does get frustrating. Dude, this is crazy damage. Hero, absolutely wrecking him. He should have pulled those drones further away. That was really sloppy, guys. That's what I call the pro gamer pull. You guys have heard me talk about this, where pros, like, there'll be a liberator on a mineral line. They'll just click the drones to the other side of the mineral line, and they'll go straight back into the lib zone and get themselves killed. That's kind of what Shin just did, where he pulled his drones to the other side of the mineral line, but they were still easily in range of the adepts. And the adepts got another 4 or 5 worker kills. So you got to really be careful. This is something I'm always reminding myself of in this matchup, especially when it comes to adepts, is adepts can always waste mining time. But if you're really good at pulling your drones, the amount of actual direct damage they get is very limited. Like, mining time is the only sure thing when it comes to this unit. Ling's looking for some probes, 2 probes stacked on top, but the oracles say, get out of here, boy. And that's the sort of chase we're talking about. The Protoss doesn't mine too much anymore. Used to be you do that a few too many times. When the Ravager Ling push comes, you don't have enough energy to deal with it. But with the energy recharge, that is not a problem. And looks like he hasn't really been using his energy recharge all that much, but I guess that's because he's been chronoing super hard, and that is, of course, part of the cost that one has to factor in. Queen's going to push these oracles away. Spore crawlers. Remember, guys, spore crawlers are a no-go zone. You can stasis trap on the edge. You can pick off drones outside of range, but you do not want to sit in that spore range, not with that 20 damage. This map looks like Tropical Sacrifice. Well, maybe the tile set a little bit, but yeah, in terms of the actual layout, it's more of like a Blackburn, Golden Wall vibe map. Very Golden Wall-y, to be fair. Golden Wall is, you know, very similar to this map in quite a few ways. I do like it. I think this is a very fun map. I like to have these maps in the map pool. I think Amphion was decent, but definitely started to get a little bit weird because there was so much dead space, not just behind the natural, which you still have here, but behind like the main as well, the third base. I mean, this one still actually has a good bit of dead space on it, to be fair, so it's not too different to Amphion. Stalker goes across the gap there. We've got +1 Blink Stalkers coming forward. Big Ling counterattack. This is one of Shin's favorite things to do, just focus the gas down. He says it's hard to get in the mineral line because of warp-ins and batteries and cannon placement, but you can always do it that way. Now, this is mass Zergling with melee, but not going after those stasis traps, and that's a little bit problematic there. Extra stasis trap in the back to fall back on as well. The Stalkers here trading incredibly well. Shin, I mean, he's got a ton of mass 1 Zerglings, but I feel like mass +1 Zerglings, as good as it is to counter Stalkers, you've got to be careful with how you engage. And he kind of got a bit sloppy thinking, hey, I'm massing Zerglings, I should be able to shut this down. I'm only on 54 drones, let's go. But the mass stasis trap here, using all that extra energy is huge. The Oracle's going very far forward. Sloppy micro for Hero on the Oracles, throws 2 Oracles away unnecessarily. But his Stalker micro is excellent. So as much as I criticize that, guys, he's lost only 4 Stalkers, 2 Oracles for 83 Zerglings. This might just be game. If he can keep this up, not lose these Stalkers, he'll be good. But the Stalker's getting low. The Roaches want to finish those kills. They can't quite get on top. Those Zerglings about to pop out of that stasis trap. He's going to be able to clean up a lot of those as well. Oracle running forward there. Lovely F2 from Hero as the Stalkers trying to blink back their weak numbers. He's got to pull back a little bit. He's getting very damaged, and I think he's overcommitting now because the Roaches are there. But wait, are his numbers just high enough? He can just win? Oh my gosh. Double the cost efficiency. That was just too much damage. And remember, where did that come from? How is that game so one-sided? Well, very simply, guys. Remember, 5 Adepts got in. They killed like 14 drones in the main. And the Oracle's got a bit of damage as well. Stalker killed the first Overlord this game. You've got 19 drone kills. An Overlord. And only just then did we lose the Oracles. You might think, oh, but he lost... No, he only lost the Oracles just now. Before this last fight, like if we go back to before those Oracles died, at this point, look at the units lost tab. 16 drones, 25 Zerglings, an Overlord, 2 Queens for 5 Adepts, and an Assimilator. I mean, that's just a great position to be in. It's a really clean 3-base timing, and you'd think Shin stopping at about, what, 57 workers, having the gold mining, just massing Zerglings should be able to handle this. But I think, in hindsight, he needed to commit more to the counterattacks. Actually try to commit in here, attack the shield battery with like 10, 15 Zerglings from that side, send Zerglings in to try and surround the cannon. Really try and force them back. When you're playing mass Zerglings, mobility is one of your advantages, but if you let them set up that kind of stasis traps forwards through a choked up area and just pick and choose where the fight happens, it becomes really hard to defend the Blink Stalker Oracle. That being said, Hero, great harassment, good clean game 1 victory. GG, well played. All right, guys, going into game 2, Shin in the top right side of the map. Can't be taking that much damage at the start. Hero in the bottom left there. His openings are good. His harassment's good and solid. And this is the scary thing about Hero is, yes, he can just do a crazy timing. I love it, by the way. The probe always bugs out on that bit of the map. We always see the graphic like pop up over this and then drop down every single time on this map when the scout goes out. But yeah, Hero can do a pretty solid opening. And he can macro pretty well. And he can hit crazy timing attacks and micro his butt off, you know? Hero has range. It's part of what makes Hero so dangerous as a player. Like, people always look at Hero and they're like, oh, Hero makes so many mistakes. And this is like a very European viewpoint, right? There's always like the European fans, I think, have been influencing things a little bit too much in the way where they go, well, look at all the mistakes Hero makes. And I go, yeah, but he has like massive range. And they're like, well, that doesn't mean anything. Clem and Max Packs play better. I'm like, Clem and Max Packs do the same thing repeatedly. I love them as players. I think they are way better at the fundamentals, but you have to give respect to the fact that a guy like Hero or Dark has so much more range as a player. They are sacrificing efficiency to do a much wider range of things. And it turns out it is actually a strategy game where if you're unpredictable as a player, it's hard for your opponent to counter what you're doing. And people always say, well, if the opponent's just played better. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to play better when you don't know what your opponent's doing and they're unpredictable. This is the whole thing. It's a different style of StarCraft. One isn't necessarily better than the other, but they're different styles. So when people kind of go, oh man, you know, Hero's too sloppy because he F2s too much or he does this or that. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, that alone in isolation is very sloppy. But holy crap, does he adapt to so many situations so well? Does he make some of the best comebacks I've ever seen? Hero, you know, you don't have a career this long, this good at the top. The only Protoss who's been beating Mario in the last few years. You know, the only one of the very few players in the world who has a positive win rate versus Raynor. How many players are there who consistently beat Raynor, guys? Sarul and Maru and Hero. Is there anyone else who has a positive win rate versus Raynor? People forget how good Raynor is because Sarul's been so dominant. They're like, oh, yeah, Raynor's really good. I'm like, no. Raynor, if Sarul wasn't around, would have like 5 world championships. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, and Hero is one of the players who has his number. And that's really big, you know, feather in his cap. All right, depth shading forward. Queen is there. Nice cancel on the shade. Just scouting around. You'd love to get a creep tumor snipe, but of course it's very difficult to secure. And he knows he's looking for it, which is why Shin's not spreading the creep tumor until it's a bit safer. Oracle opening once again here. And you can see that's a safety shade, guys. This is the just exploring. And then when the shade finishes, you know he's too far away. And now you can spread the creep tumor. You see, that's really safe creep spread there for Shin. Very smart. His link speed's also almost done, so he knows the adepts have to back away. Third base will go down nice and early here for Hero. So he starts second Oracle, 2 more probes, and then the third Nexus. Really nice timings for him. I like to just rally my Oracles to my third base, and that's what you'll see a lot of defensive Protoss do. Hero, where's his rally point, guys? Yeah, he rallies his Oracles across to the other side of the map. Okay, now he's changed it. Oh, okay, he's rallied to the Oracle. Ah, he rallies to his other Oracle to join them up. Nice. It's a bit more of an aggressive mindset nonetheless. Third and fourth gas goes down very early. Wow. I mean, it's not like that's a different build order. It's just efficient, right? He's still going to go second gate here. Twilight Forge. Because he was able to wall off with just 2 structures, he's just skimping a little bit on the production. It is interesting, though, that the Oracles are just chilling. Like, they're not really going forwards across this map, right? And you can see he's just kind of hanging out at home. Did he use the energy ability? He hasn't used the energy ability yet. He's just been saving that energy. Yeah, very curious. I think he was expecting Shin to try and cancel his third with mass Zerglings. See, that's Hero. He just basically said, you know what? I know Shin. I think he's going to try and cancel my third with Massling. I'm going to hold my Oracles back. Gamble doesn't work out. Only gets 2 drones there with the Oracle, or 1 drone, 1 Zergling. Not the greatest start, but that's fine. He will flow with his position and see what he can do. Unfortunately, guys, like I said, I messed up on the Google Translate app, so I'm going to rely on Twitch chat to translate these ones. I think he's like, this is a bit slow. Why does your Oracle only get one drone? Rocked up a bit late, hey? So we're gonna do some interpretations, guys, of what the players are saying, which you guys know from my intuition is always 100% on point. Zergling's gonna come in. Probes do deal with that before going back to mine. +1 melee's there. 4th hatchery on the way as well. Hero gonna clean this Overlord up with a double Stalker Warp in. A few more gateways coming in. That's gonna be 4 gate blink +1. Very standard. 3 Oracle into 4 gate blink, guys. That's completely standard. The question is, do we go 4th base off 4 gate? Do we go Robos? Double Robo Bay? Like, Hero hasn't made the choice yet. And there's no Roach Horn for Shin. I think Shin just wants to play Hydraling Bane this game. The delayed Roach Horn, like it's 5:30, still no Roach Horn, is kind of crazy. So I think he's going to try and skip it. Oh, hello. Hello. Oracle tried to stasis trap there. Got a Queen and a drone. These 2 Oracles come back. Couple Stalkers go down. Shield battery gets cancelled. you know, it could have been worse. These sort of moves are good for Shin. Even trading with Protoss is always good. But he's down 6 workers. Keep that in mind, guys. He's got 32 Zergling, 16 more building. Mass Zergling aggression used to be quite good against Protoss. It is severely diminished in this matchup. The Oracle energy is so big, man. And oh my god, Hero just moves out and gets surrounded. Well, if he moves out like that, maybe it's okay. But Oracle damage is absolutely insane, guys. And this is why I think this might be a little bit of a questionable choice, because even though for now the trading's good, you know you're not going to get any more. You need to go back now to droning Hydroden, and at least you've forced him to be defensive. You've kept Hero off a 4th base. Hero's going to build a 2nd Stargate and a fleet big... Oh my god, Hero, not this build. It's such a garbage build, Hero. Blink, 4-gate blink +1 into 2 star... What? No, this can't be good. This is such a bad build here. Okay, guys. Hero is shooting himself in the foot. This build has never been good. It's so trash. If you open 2 to 4 carriers off a very fast 2nd Stargate before 3rd base and then go blink, that's a decent opening that Classic popularized last year at Gamers 8. But if you go 4-gate blink into 2 Stargate, it's such an awkward transition, man. Like, he's going to go Mothership, a handful of carriers, and Stalker Zealot, I guess? And I mean, as good as Recall is, like, this is a swarmy style. You need an economy advantage to make this work, don't you? I mean, on the upside, he's going to completely surprise Shin. Shin's going fast Infestation for Hive because he's like, well, if you're turtling on 3 base, I kind of have to play Hive. Like I said, Shin never wants to go Hive. This is not that early a Hive. Like, it's decently timed if he starts it right now, but it's not that crazy. It's plan B or plan C. Overseer comes in. He does see the 2nd Stargate, right? Oh, actually, he doesn't know that's the 2nd Stargate. And he doesn't see anything building out of it. To be fair, why do we even have a 2nd Stargate if we're not using it? He's just going Robo in 4th base now. Hero's build order has got to be one of the most drunk interpretations of a StarCraft build I've ever seen. I'm all here for it. You might think I sound disparaging, guys. You got to understand, I am explaining this from the point of view of what Shin's thinking, right? And any other pro gamer, Protoss or Zerg who watches this, they're like, what is Hero doing? What is this build? And I mean, it's a Mothership rush, right? Plain and simple. Unfortunately for him, Shin's scouting's really good. Shin's going to see this coming a mile away. And I think with Mass Hydra, he'll be good. He's building 11 more drones, though. Okay, the Mothership just got spotted. He's building 11 more drones. He needs to intercept this Mothership with the Hydras. And oh my god, he just built 11 more drones. Shin's way too greedy. 88 workers. Because he thought if you're turtling on 3 base, you must be going Storm, double Robo. You must be teching up. You never expect someone to just mass Stalkers. Wait, he's only got 16 Stalkers and 1 Zealot, though. Wait, Hero's army's garbage. Hydraling's gonna smash this. I at least thought he'd have a good amount of Stalker Zealot to recall, but now he's just going Robo back. Oh my gosh. Hero's build makes actually no sense. There's nothing that lines up for Hero here. But he does have a 4th base. He's got good tech coming in. If he can just defend Shin and, like, add Storm and some higher level units, like, he might be okay. He could get out of this. But right now, Hero's build looks like some of the drunkest stuff I have seen in a while. This looks like Dark hopped onto his Protoss account and said, I feel like building a Mothership. You know, this is wild. Mom is going to find some Morphing Lurkers. You can see she does pretty decent damage now. Attacks 4 targets at once. So over time, she gets a little bit of damage in, especially with no Carapace upgrades there and her having +1 air. Oracles with some nice stasis traps will help actually defend these Hydras. Zealot's going to come in, but the stasis traps kind of work against you a little bit. Shin really should just lean on top right now. More Hydras, more Lings, and just don't give him space. Unfortunately, he's supply blocked. He's building 8 Overlords right now because he is a bit supply blocked, but look at this. Lurkers in the left side, the door's wide open, as it always is. You're playing against Hero. Of course the door's wide open. When has it not been wide open is a better question. And he's going to be taking out that Robo. Is that the only Robo? That's the only Robo. Oh no, that could be a huge problem. He's going to recall defensively on top of these Lurkers. Is that going to work out, man? The Lurkers are going to do crazy damage. The Stalkers do blink across to try and spread out the splash damage a bit. The Lurkers will get cleaned up, but quite a lot of Protoss units go down, and at the same time, of course, Shin pounces on that bottom right side. He says, well, if you recalled your army out of position, we can kill your 4th base, put you back down to 3. I'm on 5 bases going on 6, and I will be able to swarm over the top, guys. Yeah, Hero's build order just didn't have any advantages built into it. He went 2 Stargates, didn't use them, went Mothership, but had no actual big mobile army to offensively recall. The main purpose of Mothership is to recall Time Warp and Cloaking Field, as well as her own damage and hit points are just supporting abilities. But going just Stalker Zealot here didn't really have any oomph to it. No splash damage to be spoken of. And you can see blinking on top of Lurkers, never something you want to be doing. He's trying to focus the Overseers, funnily enough, but he's already used the cloaking field. There we go. Okay, now he activates cloaking field. There's no answer to the cloaking field. He tries to save the day with a sick cloaking field. I mean, I like the idea of focusing down the detection and doing that, but is it really going to work? Very unlikely. Nidus Worm, by the way, look at that graphic in the bottom right of our screen. That seems to be bugged out. Nidus Worm does pop out a couple of Hydras, but a Zealot Warping should be able to take care of that. Shin just leaning into hero, though, realizing, hey, numbers advantage is going to get the job done. That Lurker there blocking the Zealots, but hero's watching. He clicks on it, and he will take that down. Nicely done. Nidus Worm does go down there. Overseer going around the left side. We've got Tempest's second star. He's like, you know what? I need a Tempest right now. Tempest and Psystorm on the way. But Shin's just way too far ahead. Did he play double Evo this game, guys? No, this was single Evo. He went melee and then +2 range after that. No carapace upgrades. Doesn't really need him. Hasn't made Vipers or anything, like we said. I mean, as Shin, you just have to keep pressing forward. I mean, to be fair, you got 85 workers. As Shin, you probably should be just making a lot more Overseers and just continuing to push, right? Yeah, he's going to Nidus the left side at the same time. Pushes in over there. He's got to watch out for the Disruptors. Good pullbacks. Disruptors ain't landing. Remember, Lurkers now have 190 life to make sure they still get 2 shot by the new Disruptor damage. Hydra's poking in and out. Mum is just gonna pick away here. Storm's about to finish. Nidus Worm pops up in the natural, and even popping out a single Lurker there is a real problem. Zealot's trying to warp him. Look at that. Shift clicks on the probe. Starts to take those out. Oracle comes in. Does not have mana for the Revelation right now. And on the front, Hydra's fighting against the High Templar. No Storms going down before every single one falls. Mama is going to go down. Tempest falls as well. And that is just going to be that, man. Hero's build, I love it. It's just, it shows the intuitive nature of Hero. At this level of play, this is the one Protoss player in the entire world who will do something intuitive, do something off the cuff. And one of the downsides of doing that is sometimes what you do makes 0 sense. GG, well played. Shin ties up the series 1-1. All right, guys, we got Shin in the bottom right side of the map now, and I believe we might be seeing him do a different build order here. I think this might be the game. Yeah, notice he's going 14 drone, guys. Heroes in the top left of Whispers of Gold. So do we see an extractor trick, or is this just a straight 14? Is it 14 Overlord? So he's going 14 Overlord. Normally you go 13 Overlord. Now, I've heard people say that if you go for the other Overlord, there's like 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds where you've got 3 lava stacked up. But if you go 2 drones, then the Overlord, you can avoid that. Now, oh, he's thinking he might get blocked. Is he just going to go 14 hatchery? Oh my god, I hate this build order. Okay, so I prefer the one that Solar does, where Solar will move out with the drone. If he doesn't see a probe coming in, he'll add 2 more drones, and then he'll go back and build the hatchery. But if he sees the probe, then he'll go for the 14 or 15 hatchery. It's okay. Don't worry, it's not the worst build order. Like, if you want to go 14 hatchery, this is a better way to do it, because the whole point of going 13 Overlord is to get that faster 15th and 16th drone. But if you're planning to go 14 hatchery to stop them taking it, this actually makes a lot of sense from Shin. It just feels gross. Having the 3 lava stack there, you know, having to go 14 hatchery. But I think in this specific case, if they send a probe across at the start, getting this expansion up is worth it. I truly do believe that, because I think defending these third bases, they're very far out. It just makes the early game much harder. And I really love that all the top Zergs are doing these little variations on their openings, especially clever guys like Shin, just to make sure they can't be blocked easily. 14 Overlord seems very BM, says Twitch chat. BM, of course, Twitch chat says, oh, I mean, it's very Blade Master. Yeah, for those who don't know, BM originally comes from Warcraft 3, where only losers who wanted to play with the easy mode would play Orc and play Blade Master every game. Grubby. You know, because they didn't have any skill as gamers. They all knew, like, honestly, anyone who's a real Warcraft 3 gamer who actually wanted to play with skill would play only human, paladin first every game, guys. And they would open up with Devotion Aura, best ability in the game. Because people out there are like, you know what? I'm going to turn invisible and one-shot workers. I'm going to go to... No. Real men played Devotion Aura for +1 armor, 6% damage reduction on all units in the nearby area. The paladin, the chat opener. Yeah, no, random tangents aside, BM does mean bad mana, guys. It does not mean Blade Master. But I said, it's funny because, like, what I just said, I don't think that's too far from something Todd would actually probably, like, besides the Paladin stuff. I think the rest of it, if we got Todd a little bit drunk on an interview, I feel like Todd might actually make those statements about, you know, it being easy mode and that sort of stuff, but who knows? I don't want to put words in his mouth. I love my Warcraft 3 boys. Twilight Council in the back going down after Sentry, so it's a very delayed Twilight Council. Sentry, this is to kill the Overlord on the high ground, and you get scouting. This is what I love about this opening. Oh, and he walls off because he knew the Zergans were going to try it again, and he does not want to have that Twilight Council scouted. And you know you're up against something weird. Now, generally, let me talk you guys through this from Shin's point of view. It's Robo into, or Twilight into Robo. It could just be Dark Templar, could be Glaive Adepts, could be a lot of things. But generally, you don't know. So as Shin, you're going to build... Wait, why is he building 10 Zerglings? Shin has a very different way of playing ZVP to anyone else. Normally, I was going to say you'd be as greedy as possible, and then about 3:30 to 4 minutes, you'll drop a Roach Warren, a second gas. And then you have to make a decision about, do you want to go Lair to have Overseer, which is the best counter to Dark Templar, but it's very expensive, or just build 1 or 2 Spore Crawlers. And it looks like he's going to go Lings, because I think maybe he was expecting some Adepts to come out. Maybe he wants to pressure the wall off. But I think there's more than enough with energy recharge. He can just force field this endlessly. So I don't think this actually achieves anything against the new energy ability. This might be an old habit of Shin's that he hasn't updated. I don't like building this many Lings, because he stopped his own droning. You can see he's trying to run in there while the units kind of popped out of the wall from the force field. But as long as Hero brings other units down and warps in, dude, what are we doing? Okay, oh my gosh. I was like, why are we pulling back? He was out of range of the energy recharge. But there we go. Good chain force fielding. And he's got that Dark Shrine on the way, does Hero, as well as probing coming in. Hero did get supply blocked a little bit because of the panic, but he's building 2 pylons, so it shouldn't be too bad. Warp Prism is going across the map, but he's losing a bit of probe timing. No Lair. So it is going to be that Spore Crawler, Roach Warren defense. He's got that Roach Warren second gas, the Spore Crawler, going up to 42 drones, which is a pretty healthy economy for defending this. You've got the third base of Zerg. You don't need a worker advantage as long as you defend this, because once you defend, you can spring across this map and ruin your opponent. Now, Hero tried to siege up to warp in way too early. The Dark Shrine wasn't ready. Now he's going to warp in pretty far away. I think he morphs Archons. I don't think he's going to run in invisible. Oh, he is going to run in invisible. A little bit slow on this timing, though. And remember, this is partially because he opened up Sentry first. That's why he's so slow. Dark Templar running in. Prisms coming in from behind. Dark Templar have been spotted. The Lings and the Queens are there. He tries to surround it. Oh, my God. Is that Spore Crawler in range? Oh, Hero. I don't know if that was worth it, guys. He got 12 Zerglings for 2 DTs. It definitely was not worth it. Guys, am I crazy? I didn't realize the Spore Crawler could reveal all the way up there. That felt like it should have been just out of range. I thought maybe one of the DTs was in range, but it looked like all of them were. Interesting. Bit of a problem there for Hero. He warps in 2 Adepts, 2 Dark Templar, and an Archon. Archon can be picked up once it's finished morphing. Hero, you gotta pick it up! Oh, Hero was baiting. Hero purposely left it on the ground to try and like convince Shin that it was a good idea to stay there. Adept Shade in at the same time. They're going to take out a few of these drones. The Dark Templars and the Archons there. He knows as long as he's watching, he can always pick that Archon up before it goes down. The Dark Templar are going to go down though if he's not careful. And, oh, he doesn't quite get the Queen, but he gets a few drones. Fair bit of damage behind it. Third base on the way. Immortals. He's got a shield battery there. Forge goes down in the main base. Blink starts here for Hero as well. Shin, on the other hand, has a massive worker advantage. Problem, his Lairs just started. So you can have all the worker advantage in the world. You can't do anything with it unless you get a 4th base up. So he needs to both defend the future Archon pressure with these Roaches and Queens. He should definitely build 1 or 2 more Queens and try to drone this 4th up. Shin is forced to play up to at least 75, 80 workers because any sort of timing with Roach speed is so many minutes away that if you just sit here massing units, it's not going to be very effective. You really need to keep building your economy right now to press your advantage. And that is limiting his options. Now, Hero doesn't know that. Hero, oh, yes, he does, because he knows the Lair's not done, actually. He did just scout that, doesn't he? So he knows he's got time. He's going to try and run around with DTs and Adepts right now. Archon drop coming in at the same time. No Observer on the front that I can see. He needs an Observer to help clear creep. Where is that Observer, guys? It is back at home. He should definitely bring that forward to limit the creep spread. Dark Templar running in on the right side, trying to take out that hatchery. If you can get rid of the 4th hatchery, it really limits Shin's follow-up options. 1 Queen goes down. Remember, there was only 4 Queens in this game. Shin needs to build more Queens, but remember what I said earlier at the start of this cast. Shin is an all-in boy. Shin does not like committing to the Hive tech, and that's a problem in this situation where it's his best play. You can tell he's kind of just like, oh, I don't want to build more Queens because I want to kill you, and Queens can't help me kill you. But that means now the harassment's getting a bit out of control. It's doing way more damage than it probably should have. 4 drones go down. Does keep his 4th hatchery alive, and he's going to go for the Spire. Ah, okay. So he's decided Surprise Mutalisk is going to be a big part of his strategy. Ravager, Bane, and Surprise Mutas. The problem with this, his Muta's going to hit so late that I think it might not be ready in time to really be effective. Right now, Shin has a big supply advantage, but it's all in Roaches that don't even have Roach speed started. And that is a massive issue. He needs to start Roach speed, and he needs to get towards an aggressive timing. Because if you're not building towards an aggressive timing, you need to rush late game. Shin is clearly not rushing late game. He's only building towards Mutalisks. He's forgotten about Roach Speed. Whereas Hero, he's Protoss. Protoss in the mid game is all about just hang out and build to the next step. Now, to be fair, it's Hero, so he's going to attack at the same time because he's a mad lad with absolutely zero chill. A lot of Protoss players would sit back here and secure a fourth. He's going to go for a mixed play. This is classic Hero. I'm going to attack and macro at the same time. Robo Bay, +1 finishing, charge on the way. He's gone up to 9 gateways. He's warping in some Stalkers at home. He warps in Stalkers there and leaves his door open. That's the most Hero move I've ever seen. He literally warps in Stalkers in the open at his third to respond to the probe run by, rather than warping into his wall off. Just Hero things, ladies and gentlemen. Just Hero things. You know what's crazy? He's not even going to lose that many probes. For the number of Zerglings that are getting sacrificed, losing 6 or 7 probes is not that bad. This is just unreasonable, man. He's so conditioned to just never have units in his wall. It truly is a trap about half the time. And this is the thing about Hero. People are they're like, why doesn't everyone just win every game by run-buying Hero? Because half the time it's a trap. You throw away a lot of units. It's not a good value trade. You did waste mining time, so I wouldn't say it's bad for Shin, but it's not the game-ending move a lot of people seem to think it is. Now, there's still no splash damage here. He's going Colossus right now as Hero. Colossus, Archon, Immortal Stalker, no Storm, no Disruptor, no second Robo, no 4th base. And the thing is, I think sitting on 3 base is a really good move versus Shin, because remember, Shin, like I said, is a layer tech all-in guy. So he's made Aspire this game, guys. What's he done with it? Very little. 7 Mutalisks. It's a small Mutalisk run by. Can he find damage, though? There is a cannon there. Cannon really helps start to slow this pressure down. But no Stalkers available. There is an Archon drop. Archon drop. Cannon coming up in the natural and Stalkers there. Yeah, Mutas aren't going to get much damage. Gets 6 probes for 2 Mutalisks. And that's what I was talking about. These Mutalisks are so late in the game, they're not effective. Now Shin's maxed out, and where's his aggressive timing? He has to go, but he's forgotten Roach Speed, and he's maxed out. He needs to be trading right now. He cannot let Hero catch up in supply. If he lets Hero catch up, he's screwed. This is what Zerg vs. Protoss is about, guys. You have numbers, but your numbers are bad units. They are worse than the Protoss units if you're investing it. Unless you're going straight Spellcaster, Lurker, Broodlord, like late game units, you need to make the fight happen. Shin knows it. He's going to go for it. He could absolutely crush this. It just depends how this fight goes. There are a few force fields in there. 1 sentry with max energy. Force fields could be clutch. Force fields could be absolutely clutch, but he does let the Banelings through. That might actually be good, though, because then he can deal with the Banelings. The Roach Ravage is still far behind. Oh my gosh, the numbers, though. Shin's numbers. The Archon Immortal doing big damage, though. He's trying to juggle the Immortals, and the Archon's back is Hero. Hero with some fantastic defensive micro, but the Banelings have already washed up. Banelings rolling in that north side as well. They're going to get some big hits there. Not quite taking out the cannon, but they do take out 9 probes. Not quite as many as they could have. Remember, the old Banelings would have killed that entire mineral line, but +2 melee isn't quite done, so actually, no, they wouldn't have. Hive has started up now. 40 supply difference between the players in Shin's favor, but Shin's supply is garbage. Meanwhile, Hero has rather efficient army supply. A lot of it's still Stalkers, so it's not like it's amazing. And there are still 5 Mutalisks on that map. They're going to fly into that 4th base. He's got to micro this, but Shin, there we go. Good movement, forcing Stalkers at the home. Look at this, Stalkers running forward for Hero. Hero, crazy move there. He was looking at the Mutalisks, no doubt. He runs his Stalkers so far forward. They're getting surrounded. Oh, Biles on the Prism would be very nice, but Shin, he does take out the Prism, but not too much else. Mutalisks in the main base, not doing that much. Just forcing Stalkers to be warped in elsewhere, forcing a bit of multitasking. With only 4 Mutalisks, he can no longer one-shot workers, though. He's just going to back away to the corner for now. Hive is coming in, but remember what I said. If Shin's making Hive, things have gone awry. Things are not looking good, because what does Shin do at Hive, guys? We've seen it before. He makes adrenal glands and nothing else usually. Second Evo Chamber tells us he's thinking about maybe going Ultras. We haven't seen him make Lurkers at all much in the last week. He doesn't seem to believe in the Lurker in this matchup very much right now. I really would love to see half of his army hitting this base. I think it's very difficult for Hero to defend the numbers advantage, or at least especially in the earlier time, if he was getting hit in 2 places at once. But because Shin went for one big fight in one angle, which it's tempting, but he didn't get the full surround. Hero was able to pull back. Hero is now cleaning up the Mutalisks up there. He's cleaning up the Lings over here. And Viper Ultra will be the transition. Now, for those who don't know, in this version of the patch, they've fixed it so Ultras can actually attack correctly underneath Blinding Cloud. Used to be if you stutter stepped pretty much at all, the Ultras couldn't land any attacks under Blinding Cloud. That has been fixed. The range slop, a stat that Omniskeptic found, has been fixed. But how often do you actually see that? I don't really know. To be fair, there's not many Immortals out, and we know that Hero is tragically has a big problem with underestimating Ultras. Beautiful warping just in time to block that run by. So we talked about this a lot yesterday in a different cast of Hero. He doesn't respect Ultras. He'll never make a second Robo of Immortals for like 5 minutes even after he sees the Ultras. If you can get us around, it's going to crush. Ultras beat Colossus and Stalkers hard, and that is 90% of Hero's army. So the Ultras are very clever, but if you get to 5 or 6 Immortals, they will gun them down. If you get Storm to clear the Ling Bane and Immortals to clear the Ultras, this army, not very good, especially if you feed back the Vipers with High Templar. But right now, it's just a meaty army for Hero. More Archons, more Stalkers, more Colossus. Ultras will do pretty well versus that, especially if he gets these 3-1 upgrades finished. He hasn't made Adrenal Glands yet, which is a problem. Someone told me in their chat, apparently there's a meme on Winter's channel that he never makes Adrenal Glands, Shin. And I was like, dude, Shin never even gets to Hive, does he? Like, in this matchup at least. In Zerg vs. Terran, maybe he's been forgetting it as well, but kind of funny. Usually I only see him make Adrenal Glands when he gets to Hive, but this game he seems to have forgotten it. He's going to go for a big timing here. His Ultra Tech is not ready because he doesn't have any Ultras out. He's got to trade now, but without Ultras, I don't know how well Baneling's going to do against Mass Archon guys. Oh, the Disruptor shot lands big. Banelings will clear the mineral line, but we have to get out of here, Shin. Oh my god, Shin's entire army gets surrounded. Dude, Hero just eats him for breakfast. Banelings roll into the mineral line and get 24 probes. But army versus army, that was a disaster, an unmitigated disaster for the Zerg. Down 8,000 resources and units lost. Now remember, guys, ZVP is not about killing workers. It is about killing the army. Killing the Protoss workers is a means to an end. It's a way of pulling the Protoss army into different areas to defend their economy so you can isolate it into small pieces and crush it. This is rule 101 of ZVP. Shin just traded his entire army to kill economy. It's the opposite of what you want this late into the game, and it means he is dead in the water. There is nothing he can do from here. Stalkers, Disruptors coming forward. Oh! Ultra's popping out right now. Hero Mass Archon Colossus. He's got a few Immortals in the mix, and Ravager flank comes in. There's just no numbers, man. When you're flanking with half the army size of your opponent, it does not matter. And once Shin goes for Hive, you know it's already, the ball is out of his court. This is a fascinating game, guys, because I actually think Shin did a very good job of building an economic lead, but because he was put so on the defensive by Hero's dynamic pressure, I truly feel somewhere here about the 6.5, 7 minute mark, you could kind of see Shin so all in his mindset. And the correct play here is to just go to 80 drones and do a big Ravager Lingbane 2-prong timing where you attack this side and this side at the same time. But because he's just unwilling to build extra queens to help defend, so he takes a bit of unnecessary damage. I don't think that's the end of the world, but I think it just shows his mindset. And let's take a look. And I really think he could have droned this base up a bit harder and faster. Let's just look, because I'm thinking about this from Shin's point of view. Like, what should he have done differently? I do think Roach Speed being forgotten was huge, and I think the Spire was a terrible play. Let me explain, guys. It's too late. It's 7 minutes into the game. By the time that Spire finishes, you build mutas, they get across the map. Both players were almost maxed. Hero, without even knowing the Spire was necessarily coming, just happened to have a cannon in each of his bases going up because he's like, yeah, you never know. It might happen. I'll just build it. Like, it was late enough in the game that Hero just could afford to defend so easily, right? I think he did actually scout it, by the way, or at least had some inkling it was coming. But I don't think that was the correct play. I think an instant infestation pit into Hive would have been fine, even though the game timer is quite late. If you go straight Hive and just go for like a Lurker play, that could work from here. But since he's committing to Ravager Lingbane, yeah, I think you can go Hydroden and play Hydra Lingbane. Or, since you've got 20 roaches, make the roach speed, do that Ravager Lingbane timing off 75 to 80 drones, but make sure you're hitting multiple areas at once. One of the best ways you can open up that sort of timing, rather than just attacking the front, which we're going to show you guys that window when he does attack about it. So you can see here, I mean, he's already maxed. He should be already pushing, in my opinion, but the lack of roach speed delayed him. And he could have morphed these Banelings a bit earlier. Like, he should already be attacking. Like, you don't want to ever be maxed and just waiting and banking resources while Protoss catches up. There's no big scary splash damage. But this was just a bit too obvious, and to be fair, it was a bit too obvious because Hero kept him on the defensive. It's not that Shin made dumb mistakes, it's that until 30 seconds ago, Hero was attacking this base with Blink Stalkers, he was posturing in his face, making it look like he was going to commit to an attack, and then pulling back. There's a lot of feinting. It's really hard for Shin to figure out what was happening in this game, and when he does push, it's not an elegant push. It's a, oh crap, I need to be trading 30 seconds ago, so I'm just going to shove into this choke point. This is a low-level attack here, right? And I think Shin would be the first person to back that up, where he's saying, I knew I needed to trade right now. This is not how I'd do it if I had more time to plan and set it up. I'd send a bunch of units to hit the natural, roll Banelings in that north into this third at the same time, and drop some Lings around the left into the main. Let's see Hero defend that. There's no way he has the numbers to defend that with just a few Archons, Immortals, Colossus, and Stalkers. But look at how perfect these defenses were, because Hero always put Shin on the defense, and when Shin finally counterswung, it always felt like a very unplanned sort of knee-jerk push where he's attacking into this beautiful kind of expanding pre-spread of Protoss units that just arc backwards. And the Zerg's never surrounding. He's never flanking. He's never really catching him from surprising angles. And Hero has like unlimited space to just pull back and gun the units down. This is an excellent game from Hero, showing how he utilizes his micro, his mixture of aggression and macro at the same time to make the Zerg make bad choices. Really good play by Hero in game 3. All right, Hero. That is so hard to pin him down, man. Man will get in your face with a few Archons, a few Immortals, a few Stalkers, and reading what's happening is nearly impossible. Now, we've got that 14 Overlord again, guys. Now, apparently if you go 14 Overlord into Extractor Trick is the one where you minimize the lava. But you can see in this scenario, he's actually just going... Oh. 14 Overlord, no Extractor Trick, and a 16 Hatchery. This is just an objectively worse build order. Cool. Right? If you don't do the Extractor Trick, this is just worse. Who was it in my chat? It was Matt. Matt, the French Zerg, who told Shin, explained to him that you can be a little bit more lava efficient if you go 14 Overlord into Extractor Trick. He was telling me this. He's like, yeah, you'll see it. Shin tried it in a game. And I looked at the game and I was like, Shin did not do that build. Yeah, so he's not actually been doing that though. So I don't know why you would build 14 Overlord in this scenario. Unless you're going to be doing the earlier hatchery. I mean, these are tiny things. They don't really matter too much. The main thing to read from this, guys, if you're not interested in 7 mineral difference in the early game, is he has to take his third base because he didn't send a drone down early. So Hero does get the block off. I think Shin was gambling that Hero, after not getting the block last game, wouldn't feel like investing in the early probe and would just do a no scout build. So he thought he could get away with this, but Hero goes for the probe harassment, goes for the Nexus into the Cybercore behind it, and has pulled a worker off minerals onto gas, which means it's almost certainly going to be a Stargate build. Pig, do you think Spore buff is too much against Oracle harassment? It definitely completely changes the flow. I think because Oracle's shut down Ling aggression so much, it's very hard to calculate how it's going to go. I think for me, just looking at it as a player, I don't go in range of Spores anymore. If I do, I can maximum take 3 shots from the Spore before I'm pulling out. So I might kill a single drone if there's no queens around, just a Spore, and then run away. But usually I'll stasis trap around said spore crawlers, or I will basically just avoid them. So if there's a spore crawler here, gases are over here, I'll try to fly my Oracle in, hold position, kill 2 or 3 drones on the gas, and then run away while the queen's hitting me, right? So that's kind of the way my harassment has changed, is, or I just come in from behind, queue up stasis traps behind the minerals. And I just do a lot of that, which can work quite well on the maps. And, you know, because normally that's not the most efficient harassment, because you got so much extra energy from the energy recharge, I feel like it's a nice way to annoy the Zerg, throw them off their game. And look at that, Hero hides the pylon, he's shading the Adept forward, which I believe he did Chrono as well, but there are 4 Lings at probe. He's going to distract the Zerglings. He has to build another pylon if he wants to block this. He's got to build it right now, you can't wait. Oh my god, he's going for the 3rd one. This is not worth it. He just cancelled 3 pylons to delay the hatchery by a few seconds. This is not worth it. I don't think this is worth it unless he gets supply blocked, but Shin's done a good job of pulling the drones away, not getting supply blocked. And even though he loses a bit of mining time, I don't think that's worth 3 pylons on a probe, man. I gotta say, 125 minerals there. Yes, you wasted some mining time. You distracted him, but because Shin is not Dark, he didn't panic. Dark would have not built an Overlord and been supply blocked on 36 right now. But Shin, he's droning, building plenty of Lings, Overlord's drones, doing a good mix, not really taking any damage. Okay, now he starts taking some damage, though. Okay, maybe. Is it worth it? Well, he could have got 1 or 2 more there, but Hero stopped watching, only gets 1 drone, pulls back as Ling speed kicks in. Oracle's coming out now, though. That's where the damage can start to chain together and get out of control. Shin, he's had a good defense so far, but he's got to keep it together. He has to be really tight on the next minute. Spore Crawler in the main will be coming up. 2 queens here. 3rd base is on the way. It's delayed, which means it's a bit harder to get the Spore Crawler up on the 3rd nice and early. Queen positioning is good. Oh, he tried to build a Spore, but it didn't go down. Oracle dives for 2 drones. Goes for the 3rd, greedy boy. But he gets it, and that's worth. No Spore Crawler on this 3rd. Shin, I don't know if he realizes that a Spore Crawler did not build. It's probably more worth it to drone right now, but he will need that Spore Crawler sooner rather than later, especially as the 2nd Oracle comes forwards. 3rd Nexus is now up. And Spore Crawler's building in 3rd. Natural base now finishing. I guess 3rd base is the natural. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hope tumors go down. Oracle gets damaged. This one's going to dive. I would have loved to see a drone pull there. Another 2 drones going down. This is good damage. It's stacking up really nicely. And you can see 3rd Nexus, 3rd and 4th gas, extra pylons finishing at pretty much optimum timings, and he can go Twilight and Forge in that main base in a moment. He's also warping in more Adepts, which is bizarre. Guys, he's going to go for a 6 Adept pressure very late in this game. And there's only 8 Lings out. There are 8 more building. Stasis Trap got a bit of mining time there, so he's going to go for a 6 Adept pressure. Wow. Hero is just wanting to create chaos in this game, and that's where he thrives. Shin's kind of holding him back right now. He's doing well, but when you're on the defense, you have less room for error. You know, 1 or 2 big mistakes, things are going to fall apart very quickly. Oracle's taking damage. That's nice defense, but does Shin realize that the Adepts are coming forward? He should. He's building 2 more Lings, but he's only got 15 against 7 Adepts right now, and that's a problem. 7 Adepts can beat 15 Zergers if they have the right positioning. They do not have Glaive Adepts. The Lings should be enough to stave off the initial thrust, and I think this Shade should cancel. Finishing that Shade would be a madman's move. And Hero, as crazy as he sometimes is, backs away, which I think is the correct play. Just force more Lings out of Shin, probe up, and go to that next step. Forge coming in. 3. Wait, where's the Twilight? Oh, where is it? Oh, it's finished. Okay, he did finish the Twilight. Blink has now started. He built it over here in the natural. Man, that's... Hero, yeah, Hero is so chaotic. Like, look at his buildings. You can tell he's just throwing things down wherever. And he shades in! He shades in! Okay, he's going to try and take out some stuff. Good recall. Gets himself 2 drones there. I think the Oracles might have got some more. Or I guess it's just 4 drones from the Adepts. And then he manages to kill this hatchery in the north as well. Oh, it doesn't cancel. It's a kill. Dude, that's so bad for Shin. And this is the chaos factor. Shin's been up 10 drones for a while, but now he's starting to take damage, right? Now the units lost time is so far in the favor of Hero. And Hero, he invested in multiple waves of PG-13, something baggery is what I would say. Confusing behavior, chaos, disruptions. And they weren't paying off, right? The pylons didn't pay off. The first 2 Adepts got a single drone, which is okay. The Oracles started diving mineral lines. They got a few drones, which started getting value. And now he gets the 4th base kill. He gets 4 drones, keeps his Adepts alive. Now he's getting some really good value. And look at this. Oh, he's not respecting Shin at all. Guys, when a Protoss attacks you with 7 Stalkers, 7 Adepts, and 3 Oracles, they ain't respecting you. He doesn't have Blink. He doesn't have +1. He's just like, dude, I got you pinned. Like, he knows that Shin is on the back foot, and he can basically just scare him now. He's not really planning to commit to an attack. He's just like, I can get in your face. I can disrupt you. You got 71 drones, oversaturating your bases. You don't have anywhere. You've got a 4th base rebuilding, but you don't have anywhere to mine with them right now. You're stuck at home defending. I've got a cannon and battery, so even if you Ling run by, it's not going to find the best avenue to get in and do damage. And now you're forced to go for a normie play. Infestation Pit, +1 range. This is the first game in the series where Shin is trying to go away from what Shin normally does, and he's just going to try and play Fast Hive for Lurkers, which is not a bad style, but it's something that he's not as practiced at. It's something that... Oh, he's going Nidus Swarm Host. Never mind. That I did not expect, especially against a Blink build. Wow, okay. I was going to say... It seems like it's way out of his wheelhouse. Like, Shin doesn't really play Lurkers because he's bad at Hive play. He just doesn't practice it. He doesn't like playing Hive. And Shin apparently agrees with me, guys, because he's like, yeah, screw that. I'm playing Swarm Host Nidus, Mass Roachling, 70 drones or die trying. He may transition to Lurkers off Hive tech off this afterwards. That's what Dark would do. I would imagine... Oh, he builds 9 more drones. He actually is. He's actually going to take gases on his 4th. He's actually going to do it. He's going to do the Dark/Rogue version of the Swarm Host Nidus. Just 10 Swarm Hosts, whereas if you go all in with this, often you'll go up to 12 or 16 Swarm Hosts. So he's actually super committing. Like, super not committing, sorry, I should say. Normally they super commit. They don't drone past 65, 70 workers. He's actually saying, I'm going to harass you hard, but I'm going to go Lurkers behind it. And that's a very different playstyle. And because you've already got the infestation, you can start the Hive and the Hydroden whenever you want. But he needs damage with this first wave. The first Locust wave is crucial. 2 cannons, a few Stalkers going to help him defend. That's not enough to kill a Nexus. Nowhere near. He's going to focus fire it. He does focus fire it after killing those Stalkers, but he's not going to get it. He'll do a fair bit of damage. Storm does take down a few probes, but it preserves the hit points on the Nexus as well. Oracle Stalker in the top. Let's see how Hero can defend. The best thing you can do against Swarmos normally is counterattack, but Shin is keeping him pinned with Mass Roachling. Lurkaden and Hive are both on the way. And you can see that transition we talked about. It's not an all-in Swarmos, but it does need more damage than this, because otherwise you've got 30 supply chewed up in Swarmos. You wasted a lot of money on those Nidus Worms. Hero does not have splash damage. Oh, he does. He's got Storm, actually. He's got 5 High Templar. I thought he cancelled Storm. He's bringing 5 High Templar forward. Another wave of Locust comes in. Even if this kills this base, can you defend at home is the real question. Hero just disrespecting Shin in this game right now. He feels so confident with how this series has gone. just not feeling any fear. Locust will take out that Nexus this time around. It does go down, but on the front, Storms on the Roaches, Bile's landing, but there's just so much Protoss. Even though the High Templar have only got one Storm left in the back, and there's no Warp Prism here to reinforce. If you lose this army as hero, it's very bad. I mean, if Shin could just get one big, like, surround of Lings and Roaches. Oh, there's one more Storm. There's still one more Storm on those Roaches. Oh my gosh. Okay, now all the Storms are gone, but you've already lost your 4th base. Your Lurkinen's exposed up there, and Shin needs to crush this army. He's only up about 20 army supply, though. +2 attack is done for Protoss. Only +1 for the Zerg. Protoss still has 3 bases mining. He just transfers his workers up to that left side. We've got Swarmos coming in on the defense now, but look at that. He's going to pull back, run away, is hero. It's absolutely the right call. And the Locust, this is why you always want to try and flank with Locusts or flank with your army so they can't just run away. He finds himself a Stalker and a High Templar. That is not the damage he was looking for. Shin needs to rebuild the 4th base, needs to get into Lurkers, but he's also building Overlords right now because he lost quite a lot in that push. How many Overlords did he actually lose? 9! He lost 9 Overlords in that push. Oh, those Overlords sitting on the front line, such a big cost. And his army is too small. Roaches are not a high damage unit. Hero, 0 respect. And that really is the name of the game here. Game 4, Shin just didn't have enough respect from Hero. And maybe that's just the confidence that he has because Ling all-ins aren't as scary with the new Oracle energy. Maybe it's just Hero being Hero and being so happy to play a confident style even in the face of such an aggressive Zerg. But this is so weird. I was wondering how Shin versus Hero goes. Because like, I've seen them in the past, but I feel like Shin's in such a good state right now. He's so good at putting Protoss on the back foot and really finding the openings. And in this series, he really didn't get to find them at all. The only opening he found was when Hero did a terrible build in game 2. Other than that, Hero never let Shin be the one to go first. Hero was stuck defending, and he really needed to play like Serral for like 8 minutes to have a chance to play his game. And even when he defended well in the early game, it felt like it threw off Shin's attack timing so much that his own counterattacks just weren't there. They didn't find the mark. Hero just out-traded him excellently with mostly Blinkstalker armies with a bit of support. Fantastic play for Hero. He gets the 3-1, wins the OlimoLeague on its return, and just fantastic play from him. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.